back to another episode of Radio with Pictures, filmed on location in Lambasa, where for a week we have had an opportunity to meet with rural women leaders from the ages of 17 to 76. They've come from the furthest point of Vanuatu, they've come from Rambi, and right now we've got Jojiana, you're 23 years old, and you have come from Langi village. And Ana Koroi, you're 42 years old, and you're the secretary of the Vesi Group in Mali. Now both of you have a lot of water around you, right? You live on Mali Island, you're coastal. But how interesting that one of your biggest problems, because of this prolonged dry spell, drought, has been the lack of water. So tell us about the issue of water. Jojiana?
Water up here since it's been a long drought. Our source of water has dried up, like it comes into the town for the village, and we've got about 2 other settlements that we all use 1 ton. Yes,
so 1 ton of water?
Yes.
Which is then distributed to how many households?
There's around about 17 households, including Langi. That would be around about 40 households altogether.
So I just want to ask you, because we're talking about this now, when did you first notice that we're running out of water? Was it last week? Was it a month ago? Was it 6 months ago?
It was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
We've noticed like the drought long season. The water was they usually on it in the morning.
Okay.
So because of the lack of water, the drought, so we were trying to manage our water.
So that 1 ton of water that you say that's available,
Yes.
that's managed by who? The water supply? Government?
No, the government.
Okay.
Yes.
So the government water supply provides you now, when you go home, how many hours of water can you expect, like tomorrow, when you get home?
Can fill around about 6 buckets.
6 buckets?
Yes.
But that 6 buckets, that's when you fill up the water.
Yes.
Is that, when will that water be available?
For
when do women like you collect their buckets of water? Is it in the morning or in the afternoon? Okay.
So
and then does it come back in the afternoon?
Yes.
Okay.
They on it in the morning and they on it also in the afternoon.
Okay, so the water supply is available twice a day.
Yes.
What does that mean for the lives of women when you've only got those 6 buckets of water? What's happening at home with 6 buckets of water?
Like for me, I have 2 kids. So every morning when they turn on the water, first thing I do, I fill my buckets of water, and if we still have time from them to close the water, I can bath my kids, prepare breakfast. I can even bath myself to get ready for the day.
And what time is that water supply?
That would be 8:30 to 9 in the morning.
Okay.
Yes.
So do your children go to school?
No.
No. Okay. So right now you're okay because the children don't go to school. But for children who have to go to school,
we have a school, Duavata Secondary School.
Yes.
So they have their own supply of water, which.
But that's for the school.
Yes, that's
not for the children
school.
at home to get ready to go.
So, yes.
Okay. So Ana, I want to talk to you about the fact that you're living on a beautiful island surrounded by a very lovely ocean. Because we had a chance to go and check out the ocean and the island. What's the water problem there?
Yes, water problem is major on the island. It is very dry on the island, and
so where would you usually get your water from?
we get it from the pipe from the village catchment, which we are lucky on where I'm staying that village. We like Jojiana is speaking that all in 1 hour, in 3 days per week, we have to, in this drought season, we have to collect the water. That means we have a well nearby, which we are lucky it doesn't dry up, help us to do our washing and bathing. But the major effects affecting the other villages, which is a lot of households, Nakawanga, the one you travel along, they're having this problem with the borehole. Even when there is less water in this dry season, they have to get have their bath and washing from the borehole, which is salty. Right?
Yes, because you have to extract from the water, and the fact that you're coastal. And also with boreholes, the more you use, then the water is somehow not replaced, but it gets salty. So they've obviously been relying on this. Has it been 6 months as well for you, the last 6 months getting worse? Or has it been longer, this water problem?
6 months for this year, but always in the past years.
So, and is that because the population is growing as well, and you've just got one water catchment on the island that has to go out to all the different villages?
Yes, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the two of you, because you're living with these conditions, and particularly, you've got children, there are many communities, many settlements relying on water. Everybody needs water every day. How could the decisions, how could this be changed? What is the change you want? And how can women be part of the solution? Ana?
I think according to CEDAW Article 14, women have a right, women of the rural areas, we have a right to this water. Their needs, particular needs, and need is the water, and we have a right, because our body is made up of water, and we need a healthy and clean water in our body. So we need to be very much participate, very much involved in this, to be trained with specialized like Pacific water or Cambridge, trained of how to maintain water, of how to.
But even if you're trained, are you in the decision-making space? Are you in the meeting where water or the lack of water is discussed? Who's deciding on how to get water to you? You're a younger woman. Is it even harder for you?
Yes, it is very hard, because most of the time we're just during meetings we are the last to be attended to. It's mostly the decision making is made by the Turangnya Vusa, Ana Koroi, and from them they take it up. So our voices are mainly not heard.
So Ana's just talked about CEDAW and a commitment to your participation as rural women, your participation in public and political life as well. We're talking about CEDAW, we're talking about the connection between CEDAW, rural women, the status of rural women, and access to water. Water is needed for our lives. We have water programs like the Rotary Water for Life program. But Ana, I want to challenge you. You've talked about CEDAW. Government has made a commitment to you and other rural women. But why haven't things changed? And what is the change you want to see? Or are you going to be happy just saying, I'll wait for government to listen to me?
Yes, we need to be very well committed, the community, the villages. We need to do our part. For that case, we the villages, the women in the villages, like for example, it's participate in the village meeting, the Ana Koroi and the villages, dig more wells for the village, plant trees to shade the water catchment.
So are you going to do this on your own, or are you going to do it as part of the village plan?
Part of the village plan. Yes.
And who decides on the village plan?
Yes, I'm not
And how is the Ana Koroi going to involve you?
Yes,
is that what needs to change?
Yes, by our interpersonal relationship wise, you have to listen to us, the woman.
Is it hard? I mean, do you feel scared that if I go as a woman and ask them to make this change, that I could have a problem?
Yes, in the traditional league, they kind of look down on women because of their opinion in the village. But as now we come to be empowered by family, we have boldness to go through and to speak out and to be part of the decision making in the village.
Jojiana, is it harder for you as a young woman? You're a young mum as well. Ana, is talking about it's not easy all the time, and we have, and sometimes we can be told, keep quiet. You're young, keep quiet. What's the change you'd like to see so that it's not just about water, right? It's also about health. It's about the impact of climate change on both of your communities. What's the change you want to see so that in 5 years' time, as your children grow up, there is some change?
Changes I would like to see if they, during meetings, if they could just give us a chance to talk, because they are not the ones that are worried about their kids. It's us as mothers, as young mothers, and we don't want our kids to grow in that same situation as we're going through. So by the time they get old, that they'll have more supplies of waters ready for them.
Okay, so that's the change. Lastly, I'm going to keep pushing you. How important is women's leadership? Is it important?
Yes,
It's very important.
And
very important.
And if I said in 5 years' time, because we're talking about national development planning, now that you've got CEDAW, you've got the gender policy, you know about the national budget process, in 5 years' time, aside from water, what would be different in the community if women's leadership is taken seriously?
There will be improvement in the community in case of, because we women have the power to speak up. We are can say the influence of women. We are more powerful, more sensitive.
What would it look? So you said there would be improvements. What kind of improvements? Apart from water, what else?
Health improvement, other human security, like health, water, in other areas like transportation. Because when we come to attend this consultation, we are empowered and we are able to face with all the levels which we don't do before. And we talk with boldness.
Okay. Jojiana, for your other young women, for other young moms like yourself, in 5 years' time, if you were all given a chance to lead, what would be different in Langi?
Firstly, it would be the road. Then you have the buses and more of
The health center?
yes, medical boat, ambulance, just specially made for Langi in case of serious injuries.
Those would be some of the changes. Okay. Well, they know about CEDAW. They know that there is a national gender policy. And for Jojiana and Ana, like many of the women from their group during the consultations this week, they want to use those as tools to make a difference, not just for their own lives, but for their communities as well. We'll meet more of these leaders in our next episode of Radio with Pictures, coming to you from Lombard.